welcome to the Equestrian Experience, a show where we talk about what happens behind the rosettes and what we've tried so you don't have to. In a world first, we and our guests openly share what we know from our extensive equestrian experience. This includes our exclusive access to our global experts, such as high-performance national vets, coaches, farriers, and even brands. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We're your hosts, Bex Mason and Amanda Ross, and today we're doing our Christmas episode. We're going to recap on the year and talk about what our horses' plans are for the holidays and what's happening in 2022. Hello, Amanda.
Oh, morning, evening, Bex. How are you?
I'm really good. This is the first episode that I've actually got to record in the evening, so I am feeling good rather than a 7:30 start. But for you, it is what? 5:30, 6 a.m?
Well, 6:30, and we have to do my big admission that I actually slept in. So messaged you guys at about 10 minutes before we were meant to start and went, oh my God, I've slept in. And anybody that knows me will just laugh at that because, like, naturally I am totally an evening person. And so I've just sped it and I'm just like making sure I don't have pillow creases still on my face.
Well, you're doing really well, and you downed that coffee pretty sharpish.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah,
myself, I have managed to indulge in a little mulled wine this evening.
Very
so
Christmassy.
I brought mulled wine with me for this Christmas episode. Very, very Christmassy. So what's been going on in your world, Amanda?
Oh, God, in my world. Okay, so we have jumped out of lockdown and thrown some shows together, which is great. So I've done probably 3 show jumping shows now, and I did one yesterday, and then we've got one next weekend. And then we're into the sort of the Christmas spirit. Yeah, exactly. And then I suppose client-wise, I've got kids some have finished doing their last year at school, and they're a bit freer. And whoops, just tipped my microphone over. And some people are getting right into the riding because they finished school, so it's kind of busy coaching-wise. Other people are thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to give my horse a bit of time off. So it's one of those kind of strange times of year where, there's a real mixture of stuff that's going on. But, I'm actually really thankful for a bit of warm weather. I'm sorry to say that to you because I know you don't have any. It's freezing.
Yeah, just rub it in. Don't worry about us over here freezing our backsides off.
Yeah.
Clipping
and what are you
horses,
doing?
trying to keep them warm, trying to keep ourselves warm.
Now, you said that you were spelling your good horses, but then you've been jumping some others. So what are you doing with all of your team now?
Oh, so we've put a few on holiday, our summer lot, and now we've got some young ones in. We're just going through the winter season, doing some indoor shows, really looking forward to kind of prepping them for next season. Usually I go away at this time of year. Usually I come over to Australia or somewhere hot and take a month or so off. But due to COVID and just a few other factors, I've ended up staying at home. And you know what? It's like going hard. I'm like going to as many shows as possible, embracing the festive spirit. My horses have tinsel and stockings already outside the doors. And we're just competing and training, trying to stay warm and dry.
Oh, do you have lots of venues that offer indoor shows? Like, are there enough indoor arenas that you can get a proper circuit going over winter?
Yeah, absolutely there is. So, we're really, really lucky where we are. We have to travel a little bit further in the winter season. So rather than having venues that are just 40 minutes down the road, we actually have to travel. I went to Berry Farm, which was 2.5 hours for us on Thursday. And it is a long day because you're getting up in the dark, you get home in the dark, it is 12, 13 hours in total that the horses are on the truck. But, and what else would I be doing, to be honest?
Yeah.
I mean, staying inside and keeping warm and having a rich tea biscuit? No.
I know, right? Oh, it is actually really cool to be able to do this all year round, isn't it? And get out of the house, and particularly when it's like cold and dark, you can still actually go and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about the season for you with COVID? Because I know you've only just started, you've been back to 3 shows and your horse has gone absolutely incredible. It's good to be out jumping big sticks again.
Oh, look, it is. And for me, so I've had obviously we know I've had a change in circumstances. So post Tokyo, decided that we needed to renew the team because, and I've got horses that are getting a little bit older, and then decided one of them, Vendy, wanted to be a show jumper way more than he wanted to be an eventer, didn't love the dressage. So he's the one that's led to the show jumping. And then the other horses were
fantastic.
They're getting a little bit older and maybe they weren't going to be top show jumpers. So decided that it was quite sensible to to sell them to eventing homes, or I bought Zazie and got exciting news. Okay, I bought Zazie
Share
and
the
Diesel.
news.
I know, you
Share
know.
the news.
So
Dun, 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 drum roll, please. Drum
Zazie
roll.
is in foal. We have a positive pregnancy too. The beautiful stallion, her baby daddy is Eurostar. And Eurostar is an imported World Cup show jumper ridden by a fellow called James Arkins, and he is by Diorado out of a Chaco Blue mare. And so I have learnt my pre-Christmas activity has been learning all about pregnancy.
Wow.
And given that I am a 40-something-year-old female with no children whatsoever, it's hilarious. And I'm like, so what happens? The follicle's in the ovary, and then what, it has to grow to at least a 4, and then you have to give them the PG and the DES, and then you get the semen, but it has to be here at this time, and we need to order it then, and oh my God. So it's been a super fast learning curve.
It's an insane process. Congratulations.
Thank
But
you.
it is a crazy process, isn't it? When you realise how in-depth it is, and to the hours of actual like insemination, and then making sure everything is perfect and right on time. And when I heard the news, I was just so happy for you, because I know that feeling.
Oh,
when your
absolutely.
favourite horse is able to get pregnant, it's like your own baby having a baby. So basically you're like a grandma.
Yeah,
And
well,
I know what my mum is like with my sister's children. Like, she just adores them. So that's what we're like with our baby foals. So it is, oh my God, so exciting. And I can't wait till next year when you've got a baby on the floor, and hopefully it turns out the same colour as Stacy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got a
no.
brown stallion and a black mare. So I'm tipping it has to be some colour of brown or black, which is great because I've got a slight chestnut allergy. No offence to everyone who has a lovely chestnut out there, but I'm very pleased that it might be brown and go with my colour theme. But you've got some foals on the ground too, haven't you?
I do. I've got a mini Kim, which is a little black.
That's your good mare.
She's black, or dark brown at the moment, but she is going to be black. So yeah, I'm a bit partial to the black fillies as well. Are you more a mare or a filly? Not mare or a filly. A gelding or a stallion or a filly. Colt or a filly. Get it right.
My Christmas wish for
your ideal unicorn.
Yeah, I think commercially I should probably manifest a filly. That would probably be sensible. Although if I was going to ride it myself, I think maybe a colt that could turn into a gelding would probably be more sensible.
Oh, that's interesting, Amanda. I'm learning about you every time we talk. I thought you would have been more of a filly type of girl.
Oh,
yeah, I'm mares through and through.
Really?
Do you not think geldings can sometimes be a bit dumb? Blood?
Yeah, but sometimes
that's a controversial
you
subject that we can talk about another time.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, my Christmas wish would be that we have a brown or black filly. But really, at the end of the day, as long as Zazie's as long as she's healthy, as long as the foal has 4 straight legs and nothing's wrong with it, that would be amazing. So that's my wish for.
I know, it's a little mini miracle in itself, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and that will fly by, and before you know it, you'll have a little beautiful filly on the floor. I wish you all the best in that process, and I wish you all the luck and happiness, and I'm very excited to see what comes in the next 10 months.
Thank you.
So what about other Christmas wishes, Amanda? If you could wish for, like, the ultimate Christmas list on your horsey side, what would it be this year? What would Santa bring you?
Does it have to be realistic?
No. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything.
Question. Sorry.
So if I can have anything completely unrealistically, like Instagram versus reality, if I can have an Instagram Christmas list, okay, I would like 2 World Cup horses, good ones, and then I think I'd like maybe 1 or 2 mini pre-horses, and then I'd like 2 up-and-coming ones. I think I'd like maybe a couple of young ones, like maybe 4 or 5-year-olds, because to be known, I would prefer that I brought them on myself. I quite like training them. However, that we all know that takes a long time. So, yes, so I think I would like a team of horses, and I think I just named 6 horses, but then I have to ride 6 horses and have someone to help me tack up 6 horses as well.
Do you have any actual names of horses out of all the horses, dead or alive, that you would have on your Christmas list? Like dead or alive?
Dead or alive? Okay. I'd have to think about that. I really would have to think about that. What about you? I'll tell you.
Should we come back to that question?
Yeah. What about you? What's your Instagram Christmas list? Your completely unrealistic Christmas list.
Well, my Scania 6-horse pop-out living.
Oh, yes, times two. Me too.
Is on that list. With the champagne bar and the barbecue that pops out, and obviously the Lotus Elise that comes out from underneath it as well. And I probably won't drive that. I'll actually have someone that drives it for me, because then I'll get my private jet just to fly to the show. I would still tack up my own horse and groom it, but yeah, that would be on my Christmas list. Horse wise, oh goodness, Lucinda Diaz, I can never pronounce her name. But Fit for Fun. Have you seen that chestnut mare?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Absolutely incredible. That mare. I'd also have Stroller, just for the hell of it, because a 14-2 pony that can win at the Olympics. I mean, who doesn't want that in your barn?
So easy to tack up.
Yeah. True. Another bonus. And it would take our weight. It'd be fine.
Totally fine. It would be. It's probably our ideal height, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Let's
in the perfect world. And Pony Club Manual, we should be riding 14-2s.
Yeah.
And then I just wish for everyone to be happy, healthy, fun, be successful, and world peace.
Oh my God, you sound like a beauty pageant.
Is that too much to ask?
Maybe that COVID would go away. That would probably be my biggest Christmas wish at the moment for everyone. No more COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Goddamn COVID. Just keeps creeping back up, doesn't it? Creeping back up.
It certainly does.
Thank God for the technology we've got nowadays. We still get to have this fun.
Exactly. So what are you...
internet and stuff.
So what are you going to do Christmas Day with your horses? So when you're in the UK, clearly it's freezing cold, and over here it's like boiling hot. Mm-hmm. What does your Christmas morning with the horses look like over there?
Well, generally I try to get away to the sunshine, so all the horses go out in the paddock and have a holiday. But this year what I'm doing is I've got one girl that's going to come in and actually help me muck out. So we'll get there at like 7 a.m. in the morning, and we'll give them all carrots, have a little dance around with a bit of festive tinsel, give them all the food, extra carrots, take videos for the owners as well, which is very important, with them wearing antlers and things like that, and send Christmas videos to everyone. On Christmas Day, generally we won't ride. I think it is a day for the horses just to have a day off, go in the field, us to spend time with the family. So we'll put them out for a couple of hours while we muck out, bring them back in, and then I'll come home and spend it probably with my dad this year. My mum lives up in Scotland, so I was going to fly up there, but we've got too many horses in. So we'll have a bit of Christmas lunch, and then I'll go back in the evening and finish off. So generally for me, it's a normal-ish day, but with a Christmas roast thrown in there. Oof. And it's the build up to Christmas, which I find is the most fun part, to be honest. And just being able to meet up with friends and to reflect on the year and to think how you're going to improve the year and for a fresh start for next year, you know? So that's what I love about Christmas. And what about you, your Christmas? So hang on, I've got to muck out 7 or 8 horses and make sure they're not covered in mud, make sure they're warm enough. And you have to put suntan lotion on, and that's pretty much it, I'm sure.
Yep. So definitely, I did love your idea of tinsel and decorating the stables, and I kind of was like, oh, that'd be so nice to do. But yeah, mine are all turned out, so they're 24/7 living outside. So same thing, I'll get up and I have to actually go and make sure I buy the big bag of carrots, because same thing, everybody gets lots of carrots. And we also do the antler photo for all of the clients on Christmas morning. So that's really cute.
Yay.
So I'll do that. And then, to be honest, so I've got both my parents are both remarried, so I've got both of them coming for lunch at my place. But beforehand, fantastic. I'll probably actually go to I've got a bunch of gym buddies, and we all go and usually catch up at the gym and go and have a bit of fun Christmas morning and go and do that. So it's a bit of a healthy start to the day. And because I'm not riding, at least I feel like I've done some kind of exercise. So whatever amounts of Christmas lunch that I, inhale.
Hold up, Amanda. Do you not realize it's Christmas Day? Like, most people just do nothing and eat as much as they can. And you're saying, I start the day going to the gym.
I love it.
I'm like, oh, you're such like a super role model. No, like, seriously.
It's actually
can you not just eat chocolate and do nothing?
I'll do that later for sure. No, it's actually a really fun start to the day because you get out, you're really active, you've got some really, sort of motivated and fun people to start the day with. So that's really cool. Yep. And then, do the Christmas lunchy stuff and then kind of just flake. And then probably like the next day, things all just start rolling again. Everybody wants to either, sort of have a lesson in 2 days or, bop around on one of the horses. It's about, at the moment, it's not that hot. I think it's actually going to be 30 degrees today, which in Melbourne, that's been really warm. So all of ours are, they're in cotton rugs, the rug hood tail bag sets that you guys don't have. So we have that for the sunburn factor.
Yeah, the ones that we don't have.
Yeah. So ours are all out in that and,
Stop them from getting highlights, you have.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll have fly veils on.
Do you poo pick your fields?
Yeah, we do. We do every night. The horses we've got these yards within each paddock, and they've got a shelter and a sand yard. So they get shut into the yards at night, and that way we can preserve the paddocks. And so some of the poo, obviously when they poo there at night, much easier to pick up out of a sand yard. So we have the paddocks picked up every week, and the sand yards get picked up every day, if not every second day. Yeah. Do you? That's a funny Christmas question.
No, when you say sand yards, though, do you mean? I'm trying to envision. Is it like a field shelter, but they have their own personal field shelter that goes out into a little paddock?
Yeah.
Just so for our British listeners that didn't quite get it.
So our paddocks, if you imagine you've got 2 paddocks together, like one next to each other, and the fence line between them, there's a double shelter that goes over that fence line. Yeah. So they share the same shelter, but there's a fence between it. And that shelter is within a yard. Yeah, so it goes shelter, in the yard, and then it goes out to the paddock. So it's all designed so that the horses are in pairs, and that really
such a great idea.
Yeah, so they're happy. They've always got a friend.
And it's so great for the horses because they're pretty much out as much all the time.
Yep. Yeah. And then I've got a couple of other paddocks. So I've got 4 paddocks that don't have shelters in them that can't be used in winter, but during the day we go and take them out. And so those paddocks have got really good grazing. So we get them off their normal paddocks and we let them eat these paddocks down during the summer. So there's a bit of toing and froing and moving horses here and there. But it's a really nice time of year because they can just be either in their cotton rugs, their skin's out, they're, nice and healthy. There's no mud fever. Just starts to get a little bit dusty, but hence having those sand yards, it actually really protects the paddocks and we don't get as much wear and, dust and wear of the grass. So do you
have to be careful with them eating the hay on those sand yards?
We feed them.
I've heard of sand colic is the thing over there, is it?
Oh, it can be. And also it depends where you live. So just about, Bonio Park, this amazing equestrian competition facility that's down the road about 20 minutes. It's a sand belt down there. So anybody that's really into golf, their husbands can go and play golf and they can come and ride their horse or vice versa. So that Bonio is a gift that keeps on giving down there. Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah. Plus there's the Peninsula Hot Springs. So if you want to go down to Bonio, the show, there's the restaurant, Arilla, and then the husbands can go and play golf and keep them entertained. Then you can go to Peninsula Hot Springs. Like, honestly, Bex, you need to come show jumping down here.
It's like the dream holiday park.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it is on a sand belt.
What else could you need?
Nothing. That's why I live here. I like 25 minutes. The sand belt that they have down there, you do have to be a bit wary about the sand colic, and so you can do a few bits and pieces. There's a few products you can feed to make sure that they pass the sand. But I feed all mine hay in hay bags, and obviously slow feeder hay bags because they are all pigs at the end of the day. But it does definitely stop them eating the hay off the ground. Yeah.
Now, as in the winter, obviously they're not getting as much grass or succulents than what they would get in the summer. So we add stuff to the feed, like mine are on micronized linseed. They get half a mug of that a day, just to keep the coats feeling good, keep them all oiled up. And then a little bit of sugar beet.
Do you soak that?
Yeah, I just use Speedy Beet.
The linseed?
Yeah. Oh no, the linseed no. Micronized linseed, so it's like crushed down.
Okay.
And it's already done. So you just put half a mug in the feeds, but you do actually have to add extra water or extra liquid because it does make the feed quite dry. So I generally, in the winter, I will add warm water because my horses like warm water to go down into their warm feed in their bellies. But it gives them amazing shines in the coats, gives them good top line, and just make sure they keep condition on. And to be honest, I try and turn mine out still as much as possible. Even though I don't have much land at all, they all get an hour or two turn out, but generally they stay in. I'm lucky enough to have a walker, as well. So they'll go in the walker when they get mucked out in the morning, or
Okay.
they'll go out in the field, and then they get ridden in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon. So yeah, I'm lucky with my facilities,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's compact and not the most up to date. And on my Christmas list, by the way, Santa, if you're listening, could I have an indoor arena just for the winter months? Thank you. I've been a really good girl this year.
Oh, yeah. I must say, I feel very, very spoiled to have an indoor, and it makes all the difference to the consistency, as particularly like for your business and to be able to keep the horses in work all the time. It is like a godsend. It's so lucky. So, yeah, I hope Santa brings you an indoor and it just pops up on Christmas morning.
Yeah. Who knows? Miracles keep happening
Yeah.
all over this
And
world every day.
absolutely, absolutely. And do you have, I was just thinking too, like, do you have any little tips for Christmas gifts for horsey people? Have you thought about that just yet?
Oh, it's a funny one because I've had a few people like ask me like, what would you like to get? And I know like I've got a couple of friends that I grew up with in school, and they went away from riding and have come back now that they're a bit older and have children. You know, lots of people do that. They grew up either riding, have a massive break, have children, and then they want a horse again. And to be honest, there's these pants which I love, especially in the winter weather. The like big fat padded pants are like cycling pants from Derriere, which I have got a couple of my friends those for
Oh,
Christmas.
I've seen those.
Derriere padded pants. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know they sound bizarre and they look. You
Mm-hmm.
might think they look a little bit like nappies, but they're amazing. And then horse wise, I don't think you can't go wrong with your standard like licket, like those toys that hang on a string
Oh,
which the horses lick. They just keep them entertained for hours. I mean, I've tried threading carrots
yep.
through string and turnips and doing all that, and they last for a whole of 10 seconds, you know, whereas a licket will last a
Turnips.
bit longer. It's well worth the investment for keeping your horse happy and entertained for a few minutes.
Oh my God, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I must say, I bought myself, and I absolutely love it. So I would think it would be a really nice gift to buy, with some beautiful wooden backed brushes. And you can
Mm.
choose all of these different, from those flick brushes to the beautiful soft face brushes and those lovely sort of timber backed mane and tail brushes as well. So I bought
Oh
myself a nice little
yeah,
kit of those, and they
yeah.
and they're just beautiful. So I know it probably sounds like like beauty products for humans, but to use on their horses. So I thought
Yeah,
that was a really nice kind of thought
it,
for people.
y- yeah, absolutely. And this same friend which I'm talking about, Arabella, shout out to Arabella, love you, my
Mm-hmm.
darling. She's the hunter she just bought as her first horse back is a white grey hunter, fabulous, but he is white. And we're in England
Mm-hmm.
and it's the winter. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
product called Stain Master for Car and Day and Martin, which is a life changer for grey
Mm-hmm.
horses. You literally spray it on, wipe it off, keeps your whites white. So if they've got white socks
Ah.
or any stains, then that is a go-to
Mm.
Christmas present for
Mm.
me, definitely. Oh, another one, just another quick tip. In England, we have to wear neck covers on horses when it gets really cold and you got them fully clipped out. And I've only
Mm-hmm.
just recently realised
Mm-hmm.
to stop getting their manes rubbed out if you spray them with mane and tail
Mm.
spray, Canter Coat Shine, and keep them really slippery so they don't get greasy and they don't rub out their manes. Because
Yeah.
I'm now at home for Christmas, this is my one mission for my unicorns to have full flowing manes. So another top tip for winters in England. There you go.
Oh, that's true actually, because ours do that anyway, because they're wearing mine always wear the cotton hoods all the time, so they do get their rubbed out mane. So that's a really good
Oh,
idea. But
yeah.
I was thinking there's a few other little bits and pieces. So I've got clients that are always borrowing. I don't know about you, but they're always borrowing a piece of my tack,
Yeah.
because they'll be having a lesson and I'll say, "Oh, I think we need to change this. What about, hang on a second, I'll just go and get it." So
Yeah.
go running out to the tack box, blah, blah, blah. So I had a few ideas, and one of them was with the bait saddles, particularly with the Victrix, you know how they have all different colors.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of clients that loved my stirrup leathers, and they were thinking, oh, I could save up and I'm going to go and buy one of the colored saddles, but as a little
Yeah.
sneaky Christmas present, could get them the stirrup leathers that already have the matching colors.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
This
And
is
that's a
such
little
a good
sneaky one that
idea.
you can put in a stocking that's not too big.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so flashy as well. Like I've had so many people comment on them because they're so flashy. Just that little bit of orange or that little bit of blue, a little bit of navy, or I've got red
Yeah.
on black. That's what mine is, and it just looks super super cool. That is a great Christmas present right there.
Yeah, just a little flash of color. Yeah. And then what else did we have? I know with flexible fit. Oh my god! So I just invented this neck strap, and it's a double neck strap, and it came about because Zazie, when she was rehabbing,
I'm not going to lie. I looked and I saw and I Googled it.
Yeah.
I Googled you doing it and I saw it. It looks amazing.
So
tell me all about it.
So this double neck strap is, it goes firstly like a normal neck strap around the neck, and then there's an extra bit like a handle that comes up the top. So you can do it up around the neck as a normal neck strap, which is great for 2-point and sitting forward. So if you're doing any fitness work or you need to practice jumping position, you just hook a finger or two underneath it and it keeps you really stable. And anyway, if you want to sit back into the saddle, the monkey grip is too close to the front of the saddle, to the pommel. And so I put this extra handle, which means you can sit back and hold it like you're I suppose you can keep your hands in a dressage position on the rein and sit into the saddle and hold this, and it'll keep your hands still. It helps you with sitting trot. Like, you know, if you want to sit back on a horse that you think is going to be quite naughty and put its head down and have a bit of a buck, that really helps. Anyway, so that I now have one sitting on the rack outside the arena, and it's called Jesus. And because, you know, everyone loves a Holy Jesus strap. So it has a name now. I'm like, let's get Jesus.
It's called Jesus.
Yep.
Just putting it out there.
Yep. So it's called the double neck strap, aka Extreme Jesus, and it's a massive stocking filler for lots of clients. It's actually sold out on the website, which was so exciting. So I think a little bit of Jesus for everyone.
Insane. I mean, what
Christmas.
An incredible idea.
So yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh my god, that is like what an unbelievable cool invention, because the number of times that I've had a neck strap that hasn't been the right length, that's either got too long or you can't keep hold of it with your reins or whatever. I mean, why has no one done this sooner?
Well, you know,
this is a gem, honestly, an absolute gem.
I stumbled across it. I didn't mean to invent it. I literally put it came from, I went down to the arena and realized that I'd left my neck strap back up at the stables, and there was a side rein sitting on the side, you know, like side rein, lunge rein, all that kind of stuff ready to lunge. And I'm like, I'm going to get a side rein and I'll tie it around the neck. Anyway, the way I pulled it and shimmied it around, it ended up turning into this shape, this design. So that's actually where it came from. But yeah, it is a lifesaver. So that's a stocking filler for sure.
That is incredible. You know what? You need to imprint the side of it with Jesus. Jesus saves.
Jesus
or something.
Jesus is with me, like literally. Yeah. He is, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus is with me. Jesus saves.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
The oh no strap, or I got your strap.
Yeah. Totally. Exactly.
That is such an awesome invention. So anybody out there not sure what to buy for your equestrian buddies, you've got it. You got to go for the flexible fit. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
the flexible fit.
Yeah, the double
flexible
neck strap, or Jesus. If you just email and say I'd like to order an Extreme Jesus, they know exactly what you're talking about. So that works quite well. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh goodness me.
Oh my god, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they'll be coming out in all blingy colours. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. Maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit of stitching.
Come on. You've got to accommodate every type of rider and every range and every colour.
Oh, the matchy. That's probably true. I better go with the matchy.
With the times.
Actually, you know what I could do? I do have this incredible Bates Artiste dressage saddle, because you know how Bates kind of look after me and they make a small version. So someone mentioned to me the other day, oh my God, are you going to do them in matchy? So these saddles, I've got the black luxe leather with the navy blue, because I had the blue Artiste made a little while ago now. So it has blue trim. So there's blue on the knee blocks and blue at the back on the cantle and what have you. So I might be able to do Jesus with some blue padding, navy underneath to match that. That would be beautiful.
Of course you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds right up.
We'll do a range.
But then you need to elaborate to bling.
Yeah.
And pinks and oranges and all the colours to suit everyone.
This is true.
Just to have a wider range of audience.
Yes, it's true.
So why doesn't our listeners send in their requests for what colours they'd like on their Christmas list?
Yeah, absolutely. Give us your top three Christmas ideas. So like your extreme ideas. So what have we got? I've got a team of jumpers and you've got a new truck. And then down to the actual little gifts, which, what have we got? We've got brushes, we've got neck straps, we've got Car Day and Mountain cleaning products. That's got to be a good thing, especially in winter in the UK. Is there anything else? Oh, and the liquors. Pants. Oh, pants. We've got pants. Oh, my God. Who doesn't need new pants?
Yeah. We all need a good set of pants in our life, I tell you.
This is true. Yeah.
Save your derriere. This is so fun. This is so fun. I can't even tell you, Amanda, when we started off these podcasts, so we kind of had this idea, well, the Bates basically came with the idea. I said, let's have a little chat. Never did I really imagine speaking to a microphone like we are now and be able to have such amazing chats and to meet so many cool people as well. Like, I didn't expect us to get so many people listening for a start, because it's just me and you just chatting horse stuff, and everybody wants to talk horse stuff apparently too.
Yeah.
So I've even had people coming up to shows and saying how cool it is and how much they enjoyed it. I've had text messages. We've had some amazing reviews. Just really, really exciting stuff. So I'm so excited to see what's going to come from our guests in the future. And I just want to, we've got some which haven't been edited and out yet, so I have to be careful not to do spoilers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've had over 12,000 downloads, which absolutely blew my mind because, like you said, we kind of started this not really knowing whereabouts we would go. But I must say, I have learned so much from every guest that we've had on, and like we could do a little recap of maybe, you know, one thing that we kind of learnt from every guest, because otherwise if we talk about all the things we've learnt, my God, we'd be here forever raving about the people that we've been so fortunate to talk to. But what about you?
Which I think we do quite well as well, but it would be a 3-hour episode.
It totally would be. It totally would be. So maybe we should do a recap. So we had Vic Khan, our physio, who was my physio as well. And I just think she's incredible because she's actually the one who has saved my hip. And to have somebody who can explain to a rider how important it is for the longevity of your body in the sport, that you really need to look after yourself, and, you know, that there's a small amount of specific exercises for each injury you can do that I know for me that have basically let me keep going and reduce the amount of pain that I have with this hip. So I thought she was really incredible, and she was so passionate about her job. And the fact she can help so many people through exercise rather than thinking that they have to take anti-inflammatories or, you know, that they're limited in what they can do.
Yeah, I loved how she made it so black and white as well, that we are athletes as well. You know, we're not just we don't just sit on the horse. We need to be in the right place with our bodies to be able to do the best for our horses. She was so insightful, and I loved hearing about your relationship with her. It was awesome. She was really, really good second episode to be able to kick off on. It was so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we had Rachel Watts. And that's Shane Rose's Olympic medalist, the groom, when she was in hotel quarantine. I mean, she was super fun.
She's amazing, isn't she, Rach? Like, definitely.
What was your highlights about her?
Oh, Rach. Look, I've known Rach for a long, long time, and watched her as a groom, you know, seen her do all of these competitions, and she's been the person that when I went overseas, I just gave her a call and said, Rach, can I just bounce my list of things off your list of things? Is there anything that I've missed? And I just love Rachel's attention to detail, and it's so lovely to see somebody that, like
the tail plaiting.
Oh my God, she honestly, that's an Olympic sport. Tail plaiting.
You would not stop going on about the tail plaiting.
Bex, it's so funny because I can't do it. I can actually plait quite well, but I can't plait a tail, and I think I've just
if you're going into show jumping, you don't need to plait the tails.
Or anything else, pretty much. Why do you think I've done it? No. But Rach is so professional, and she's very humble. You would 120% trust her with, I would trust her with any of my horses. I could give her a list and say, Rach, here you go. And to me, to have someone on board, we're all passionate about our sport because we're the one that's riding the horse, but to have someone on board like that who's so experienced and so professional, doesn't miss a beat, I just think she's absolutely priceless. She's priceless.
She's the biggest, integral part of the team, and the reason the horses are so happy and fit to be at the top of their game. You could tell that in her stories that she told. You know, she was just so passionate, and we shed a tear at one point about one of the horses that she lost, and really emotional but sentimental, and just a fantastic episode just to talk about the truths of being a groom at that level. You know, that world-class level. It was amazing. So I look forward to meeting up with Rachel when I come over to see you guys in Australia.
Yeah, and she's great.
Oh, and then we had Jasmine Punter, who does all my social media photos, from Jasmine Punter Photography.
Yeah.
And do you remember she just talked about like the best bits, how to take a horse,
Mhm.
how to take a picture of your horses just off your normal iPhone. But what I loved as well is how she talked about how much went into the thought process of even taking a show jumping round.
Yeah.
So in the ring, I remember she said that she would almost walk a course herself, and there would be a track where she goes to the first fence and the fourth fence and the third fence or whatever. And she said there was one story where someone nearly jumped her and they were like, "You're in the way," and she was like, "No, you've jumped the wrong course. If you're jumping the photographer, you've gone the wrong way."
That's a good tip. I think that's a really good tip. If you jump the photography, you are in the wrong.
You are, yeah, you are. But yeah, listen back to that episode if you want to be able to take like super cute photos of your horses for your Instagram and your social media, which we all want to do.
Yeah, that was really helpful. That was definitely really helpful. And we nearly just after Rachel and before Jasmine, remember we interviewed Shane, who is the writer for Rachel Watts. So Rachel Watts Grooms. And remember we interviewed Shane and he was in quarantine after Tokyo.
He was.
Yeah. So, I mean, Shane's fascinating, isn't he?
He was.
It's so fascinating to chat to Shane post-Tokyo because he is such a busy person with his pre-training business at home that the fact that we actually got to interview Shane in a room without being distracted by probably 50 pre-trainers before he rides his 15 eventers, to get that recap from Tokyo and the preparation that goes into it and the experience of riding on all of those teams, that's pretty rare to be able to chat to someone like that because he's had so much experience.
I just felt like really, really lucky to be part of that experience, you know? Like these superstars that are out doing it at the top of their game and then able to sit down with us for an hour. Well, I don't think it was even an hour, but I mean, and just to talk about their experiences and for us to ask the questions that our listeners want to hear. It was a really heartfelt moment. My little riding girl came out at that point and I just smiled at every question. Such a professional, such a hard worker, and you know, been through so much and continues to strive for so much, does Shane.
Absolutely.
So that was fantastic, and has a family in tow.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. Unbelievable. Yeah. And then we chatted to Sean Dillon. Oh my God. I love Sean's story. Like, I think if that wasn't inspiring,
oh my God, Sean.
You know, people who come from a, you know, not such a horsey family and, you know, his nun auntie who really went out there and got him that deal with sponsorship and put him on the page and sent him on his way. Like, that was such a great story, wasn't it?
So everyone, if you haven't listened to this episode, you have to listen to it because basically his nun auntie asked Bates for sponsorship and Mr. Ron Bates himself said, "You can't say no to a nun." So that's how it all kind of, honestly, the story is hilarious and fantastic and inspiring behind it. And with the Mardi Gras, the Sydney Mardi Gras, that he got that hot to trot float going. What an amazing character and such an inspiration.
Absolutely.
See how aren't we lucky?
I know, isn't it? And it's so lovely to, you know, to talk about what riding means to so many people and to be involved in our horse industry. And as he was saying, you know, the acceptance of, you know, wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you know, come from a horsey family, a non-horsey family who got lots of money, you know, really struggling financially. It doesn't matter if you have the passion to be there. It's really accepting. So I thought his story was really inspiring.
It was, and it reminds us how lucky we are to all have something to do with the equestrian world. So yeah, we're very lucky to be surrounded by these amazing people, and that brought it all back home, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then we got deep into the feet,
didn't we?
So we spoke to Luke, who
Dr. Luke
Wells Smith, and we are getting Luke back on, and I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, wasn't that interesting? Like, I know having Luke as my specialist farrier alongside my vet and my farrier, I pick his brains. I've actually gone through the back of his car before, with permission, mind you, and gone through all of the drawers and the shelves and looked at all the incredible things that he has in there for all of these different issues. And my God, I definitely think, like, even talking, what were we talking about? Like,
we're almost past the watershed at my side of the world. So can we talk about these things that you found?
Oh, right. No, it was incredible, the amount of like issues and problems with feet that he comes across that he can fix. And you know, I think, you know, that conversation that we had with him just talking about, you know, studs and sole depth and all these sort of just basic things that we all have to deal with every day. And there's such a technical aspect to it. But yeah, we could talk to Luke about three more episodes, I think. We better book that in.
Oh, you certainly could. And the fact that he is, qualified as a vet and a farrier, to be able to look at the feet from the outside perspective and from the inside, that's why vets and farriers have to work alongside each other. It's not necessarily the same on the outside to the inside. And how a horse's feet will inhabit what it does for a job. There's so many aspects to look at. And we only lightly touched on them on that episode, I feel like, because it's just, endless, really.
It is.
So I can't wait to speak to him again.
I know, that would be great fun. That'd be great fun.
Yeah.
And then we chatted to the Richardsons, who were hilarious. I thought they were fantastic. So Blair and Nikki, including the story that I remember Nikki and I were at an invitational pony club competition. Was it 2000, just before 2000 in Tasmania, and she told me about this guy called Blair that she'd just met. Anyway, let's go forward 20 years and they're married and they've got 2 sons, and, they're sort of in Olympic eventing plus this incredible pre-training and breaking thoroughbred business that they have in Scone, and the family involvement they have there and the business they've built. And that was a really great insight, wasn't it?
It was amazing. You know what, as well, how big their setup is and how it just works like clockwork, and how they've got, the people working under them, they've got the family involved, how the horses have gone on, how they look for the next eventer in a thoroughbred, how they look for a happy hacker in a thoroughbred, how these thoroughbreds can go on to do so many other different jobs. I mean, they were just full of advice and just little nuggets in there that you just think, wow, I hadn't even thought of that. And these incredible animals that people say, okay, they just come off the track, but actually they can go on to do so many different things. So yeah, well worth a listen, that one.
Yeah, really impressive thoroughbred information.
We went then on to speak to Claire from Bomber Bits, and I know you set up this podcast because you've spoken to Claire quite a lot, and I have followed Bomber Bits, and it was really, really interesting podcast. It wasn't just about Bomber Bits; it's all about everything bitting. I certainly myself learnt loads of things from. I always thought, make sure the bit isn't pinching, but actually that doesn't really happen that much. It's okay to have a bit that's a little bit small. All the different kind of textures you can use for a bit, the effects they have on the horse. I've been in touch with Claire since with horses, which I have, and just we're so lucky that we've got such a variant of materials that we can use nowadays, so that they're happy, and they don't have resistance to our contact.
It's really interesting because it kind of really revolutionized the thought about why and how we would put a bit in the horse's mouth, didn't it? And what I really enjoyed about that podcast was that Claire first and foremost started with, you need to know the horse's mouth conformation, and discussing the fact that, horses, particularly with a thoroughbred breeding, have started to get a smaller mouth and a narrower jaw, and then all of these other factors. Remember, she was talking about, how fleshy their lips are, and if not just the narrow
fleshy
jaw. The
fleshy.
Yeah.
My dentist came out about a week after that, and I was like, my horse is really gummy, and he was like, gummy, and I was like, yeah, we did this podcast episode and we're talking about and he was like, do you mean like fleshy, like it's got big lips? I was like, yeah, that's what I meant.
Gummy like a shark.
It's not gummy, it's fleshy. Yeah.
And then that you can really.
But we were on the same page, but just different words.
Hilarious, yeah. And then there's all these different bit shapes, and every bit style and shape has a different effect. And so for me, I can now sort of put those into categories, and I work through the categories now when I'm looking for the bit for the right horse. And it's not a matter of just chucking this bit in and going see what happens. It's like learning what each bit does, and the more you understand how a horse responds, the more you can start understanding which bit category to start with and then go from there. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, really interesting how a horse responds to the bit as well, because if it instantly, it might like it and then might start to not like it. It was really, really interesting to speak to her. So yeah, get onto that episode if you want to know about bitting and your horses, because I refer back to it myself, and I am in touch with Claire, just getting little tips that I don't remember. So
good networking.
Been so lucky to speak to all these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good networking. We then spoke to Sarah Stratton
God, she's so
from
funny.
the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my little like nugget over this side. She was just fantastic. It was a real kind of down to earth chat about her journey to the big Bs, to the badmintons, and all of that, and just how she is with her animals. I mean, there's that moment where we asked her, do you have a ritual before you get on every horse? And oh my God, what she said, I just literally melted.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that she'd taken her good horse from a really sort of unconventional horse who had some some problems and some sorenesses and not so much injuries, but that she'd workshopped the horse, used professionals, had a team, and she ended up being able to get that horse to badminton. So that was interesting, wasn't it? That journey took quite some time, but she was prepared to put the time in and systematically work through his physical, I suppose there weren't even injuries, just his physical issues, and come out the other end with an incredible horse. And also, I really loved the way that then she started a family. She had to adapt how she had horses in her life. So when she had her daughter, you can't all of a sudden be handling young horses all the time, and how she adapted to that, which I actually have had quite a few friends and listeners approach me and say, as a mum, as a new mum, I found that like a really great podcast to listen to, and it really resonated. So that was lovely.
Yeah, she's an incredible lady, juggling a lot, but very, very happy and in a good place. So you can make it all happen, can't you? You can make it all work for you with these horses. Sometimes it can seem really tough and overwhelming, but there is a way when there's a will.
Yeah.
And I loved when she was talking about her foals and seeing them in the morning and them just being so peaceful and just enlightening, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that little bit of peace.
Yeah, it is.
So it's just been really, really exciting. I can't believe we've got through this many people, and our latest episode that was out that we've had loads of good feedback about as well.
Yeah.
Was the amazing Tristan Tucker for the TRT method.
So exciting.
So we had a great chat with him, didn't we?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And Tristan, like having, as I said, having known him for ages, not very well, but taught him at Pony Club way back in the day, to watch someone's journey like that. And I absolutely love the fact that he's competing at a really high level, but he's starting from the most basic relationship with the horse, like it's so natural, and looking into the psychology behind how we as people try to take horses into our human environment and expect them just to behave how we want.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than us coming to them and going...
That was one of my favourite bits, Amanda, is when he turned the question around and said, so what would your horse say about you if he was interviewed? And that's a really interesting way to look at it, because as you say, we pick the horses, they don't choose us. And so what would your horse say about the things you do and the way you are and your mannerisms and the things you've done? And it was just really insightful about the method that you used, how that method has developed over the years, and really exciting to see how it's going to continue to develop.
Yeah, I think it's the sort of episode that I would like everybody that owns a horse to listen to, and then, like you said, ask themselves the question, how do I relate to my horse? Do I see my horse as a horse, and do I ask the questions, does he understand what I'm asking him? What can I do better to train him better, or how can I communicate better with my horse? What do I need to learn? So yeah, that's a very important one, I think, in terms of all horse owners.
Yeah, they've been just really, really cool. A lot of them are really cool, and I'm just really excited. I'm proud. I'm really proud to say, we've spoken to these people. We've got I feel like we've taken information that I've wanted to know and put it out there, and we've had feedback. And I can't thank the listeners enough for helping us with the feedback and for giving the questions and knowing which direction we need to go with these podcasts, so that we are actually doing something for the greater good of the equestrian world, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing knowledge and chatting and asking the questions that everybody else kind of wants to know. And I've just without the feedback, we wouldn't be here, and that's all we can ask is please keep giving us feedback. What do you want to listen to?
Yeah, absolutely.
What more do you want to learn?
Because we don't need to reinvent the wheel, and it's great to be able to, like you said, I think more and more we spend so much time riding horses on our own. Like, I know how many hours a day do you spend schooling a horse? We're not in a team. We have a great bunch of people around us, but the more I do this, the more I realize that it's wonderful to have connection with other people. And that's not just on a horsey sense. I think that's going with everything. And particularly, like I know with this show jumping community that we have here, there's people that have come back into riding and they've got young families, but all of those with young families, all their kids are playing together, and so they're finding now that they can come out, they can do a couple of rounds of jumping. It doesn't take as long for them. They don't have to walk across country and do all that stuff. So they have created this wonderful connection. And like you said, this podcast for us is being able to talk to these incredible people and get their insight on what they do best, and then share it with everybody. So I think we're very lucky.
We are very lucky because we can take all these little bits. And that's, I think, what we've done through our whole equestrian career so far, is taking little bits and kept learning and using it, implementing it in our own lives. And hopefully we're able to pass all of that on.
That's right. So listen,
roll on, 2022.
Yes, keep sending us all of your questions, listeners, because we love that. And so Bex, 2022 is just around the corner. What are your new year plans, and what plans do you have for your personal competition sort of goals? Where are you heading for next year?
Oh, I don't like to say anything out loud because sometimes it jinxes it. I have all these big dreams. So the reason I'm saying that is because last year we had all planned to go and do the Sunshine Tour, and then COVID stopped us literally 3 days before we got locked down. And the horses were ready, they were fit, we had paid the stables, everything was planned, and we got locked down. But this year, I'm very fortunate that one of my owners wants to take a couple of horses to Villamora to go to Portugal for a few weeks.
Awesome.
So if I manage to do that, honestly, this is like the dream. But I'll be using that as my kind of getaway, my holiday, because it takes...
I'll be living vicariously through you at that tour, you know that.
Oh, yeah. But remember, you spend every single day in the sunshine. I'm having to do like 6 months. It's like living in Iceland or something here. I mean, honestly, it's dark all the time. It is cold. It is wet. I need something to look forward to.
You do, Bex.
So if COVID doesn't shut us down, then that is what I'm aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. But then saying that, this year, I'm not doing... So over Christmas, I said what I'm doing for Christmas. New Year, we're going to a show from the 1st to the 5th of January. I'm taking 7 horses to a Winter Classic stay away. And then hopefully go to Portugal, but I'm not saying that too loud in case it doesn't happen.
Fantastic.
And then when I get back, it'll be bliss, because it'll be spring, and then looking to the summer and the big shows and everything will kick off again. So I'm really excited. I hope COVID does very little and we can actually, have a proper summer and actually have some county shows next year, because that's what it's all about. About living these county shows and loving the horses and enjoying this big summer shows, basically.
Well, that sounds
good. So what about you, Amanda?
So New Year's plans. After the show this weekend, I'm around for New Year's, so I might pop away for a couple of days here and there, but nothing too crazy. And then my plans, 2 things. One is I want to use the next 4 weeks to get Vendy really fit, because I think during COVID I've really missed taking him out and doing all of that hill work that he used to do as an eventer. And we have a few bigger shows coming along. So we've got a show, where are we? In the middle of January at Bonio Park. And then a couple of weeks after that, I think 3 weeks after that, we've got 2 shows 2 weeks apart at Bonio. So we've got the Wetlands Jumping Championships and then the Australian Jumping Championships, which will be a really big show. So I'm...
Oh, fantastic. So it's pretty much like your summer is kicking off.
Yeah. So
you've got loads going on and loads to look forward to.
And that'll be the senior championship. So that's a pretty meaty class then. So I'm going to spend sort of the next 4 weeks getting him on the hills and getting him quite fit for that. And then my other thing is that I would really like to get together, maybe 2, maybe 3. I'm thinking 2 at the moment, 2 young horses. So I'm kind of putting it out there to see if there's any owners around or anybody that would like to be involved in a couple of jumping horses. And the mission with that is that I really like to enjoy the horses with other people. So I'd love to sort of have on board people that are like, we'd love to come and see them at shows. We'd love to hear how they're going with their training, and, be sent videos and just the fun stuff. Meet me at the show. Let's have a bit of a picnic. Let's get you all together and hang out by the truck and have fun. And so that's what I'd like, to get a couple more together. So, we'll look out if anybody's keen to come show jumping with me, let me know. So I'd like to build up the team. So we've got 3, maybe 4 to go jumping. I think that's enough for me at the moment.
That sounds like the perfect number.
Yeah,
It sounds like the perfect number.
easy to
So
manage.
get on the
at
bandwagon.
home.
Give Amanda a call if you want to have some superstar show jumpers in the making.
So yeah, so that should be a bit of fun, and then
Because, but let's face it, your little sassy foal is going to be a little way off before that's under saddle. That's at least 4 years.
it's going to be
So
a
you need
little
to fill
bit of
some
time.
gaps and produce some nice young jumping horses.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So
That's really exciting, though. Really exciting. You sound like you've got a summer and loads of cool plans for 2022.
yeah, it should be quite interesting.
And I hope everyone out there does as well.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So I know. So you have basically got a. So you're about to go to bed, aren't you? And I'm about to get up and start my day.
Yeah.
So
This is
so
true.
what time is it with you right now?
So it's just coming on 9 o'clock at night. I've had a fully festive day going out for lunch with some owners. This is such a novelty for me, being able to be up and had a wine whilst chatting to you. But yeah, I'm going to go home, go to bed, and get up at 6
Sensational.
and muck out and go again. And you're going to start your day, got a bit of training, get down the gym. I can't take you seriously with those glasses on either, Amanda.
I'm going to wear these. I might wear these Christmas Day. Heading off to the gym. Then I'm going off to the chiropractor to go and get myself straightened out, because that's a bit of a ritual for me as a rider. I always have to make sure that I am symmetrical. So that's one of my things. Monday's the horse's day off in general. We've done our podcast this morning, and that's usually this afternoon. So it's just one of those kind of get everything organized days. Make sure that the truck was all cleaned out from yesterday, which is good. Go and check if I need to go and get any bits and pieces. It's just one of those kind of days. Anyway, so we should probably go and do our thing.
We should. And we can welcome 2022. And I can't wait to share the podcast that we've already recorded that we haven't actually finished and let loose yet. So I just want to say thank you to all our listeners.
I know, right?
Thank you, Amanda, for being proper amazing co-host. And a Merry, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you, Bex.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to everybody.
This has been the Equestrian Experience with myself, Bex Mason, and my amazing co-host, Amanda Ross. To send in your questions for our up-and-coming episodes, enter our competitions, and access our other episodes, be sure to visit the equestrianexperiencepodcast.com. You can also follow us at Amanda Ross Equestrian and Bex Mason SJ. So until next time, I have a great equestrian experience and Merry, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Woohoo!